I think we can all agree that writing is crucial. And when our students are writers, they're creators, they're thinkers, and they're problem solvers. And so, how can we engage students in the writing process? How can we pull them into writing activities that are fun, that'll also promote learning? Well, there's a great tool that can help us do that. It's called Book Creator. And in this video, I'm going to share with you 15 ways that we can grow student authors with Book Creator. I'm Matt Miller from Ditch That Textbook. Let's get started. Now, if you're thinking about doing this kind of work, and you happen to be watching this in March or around March, it's a good time because Book Creator's Be an Author Month is during March, and it encourages this kind of thing. So if you're interested in checking that out, take a look in the video description. Now, let's get to our 15 ways to grow student authors with Book Creator. And number one is to do comic strips. Now, thankfully, this is a really easy sort of low barrier of entry activity. It's something that your students may have already had some experience with anyway. And of course, thankfully, this is really easy with Book Creator because it's got really good templates and stickers and lots of things already built into it that make this kind of work really, really easy. Number two is auto draw and write. And this is kind of a cool thing that Book Creator has built into it. See, whenever you use the draw tool inside of Book Creator, if students are drawing on the page of a book inside of Book Creator, it has auto draw built into it. And you see those little icons up above, it's trying to guess what it is that you're drawing. And so if you click on one of those icons, it will replace your drawing with that icon. So if you have students that want to draw that aren't that great at drawing, then this is definitely one way that you can empower them to do that kind of thing. Let's move on to number three, which is an audio book. Audio is becoming more and more popular, and we've got, all of our assistants like Alexa and Google and Siri and everything. Podcasts continue to grow in demand, and with Book Creator, it's really easy for students to record audio. And so if they want to do some of their creating with their voice instead of with their text, it's just right there in the plus menu. They can record their voice, and then whenever somebody reads their book, they can hear it in the student's voice instead of just text. Let's go on to number four, which is a memory book. All sorts of things happen during the school year that we want to remember. So why would we wait until the end of the year? What if we create a book inside of Book Creator where students are continuously adding images and videos and text from the year? And they're basically writing about their year, which gives them practice in writing, but in a way that's really, really fun. Let's go on to number five, which is the Pixar style story. So Pixar has this story structure, and if you watch any of their animated movies, you'll see that they use this structure in pretty much every single movie. And what's neat is that we can use this as a way for students to be able to create their own stories. And so when we do this, we're able to, kind of walk through the same structure that they would in Pixar, starting with Once Upon a Time There Was, then every day, then one day something different happens. And because of that, until finally where you get some resolution in it. So whether you're creating this on blank pages in a Book Creator book, or if you're using a template kind of like the one that you see on the screen here, either way, it gets students involved in writing in a way that's very similar to the way that they would on Pixar. Number six is a storybook sequel. If your students have read a book and they loved it and there's not a sequel to it, what if they start to create their own sequel to that story? And of course, they can use images, text, videos, all sorts of media inside of a book, inside of Book Creator, to create that sequel to the story that they love, and then maybe they can share it with their friends. Number seven is to write to a prompt. If students have a fun, interesting, engaging prompt, it can make the writing process a lot more fun. And what's great is that there are some really good places that you can find prompts. For instance, Scholastic has this site called Story Starters, which you can find at the link there on the screen or in the video description. And it gives you all sorts of different types of stories that students can start creating based off of these prompts. So if you're looking for some good prompts to give students, this could be a good place to start. Number 8 is a YouTube style story. Several of these next ideas kind of come from using YouTube as a source of inspiration. If students want to be YouTubers, and let's be honest, a lot of them would love to be YouTubers in their lives at some point. If they want to do that, what if they write like YouTubers? And that is to do some storyboarding. Kind of draw out what they imagine the video would look like, and then add the text down below and do it in those little blocks. It's almost like a comic book, but it's really sort of like showing the visuals and the text that would be said during a YouTube video. And just that one little shift might be enough to make it engaging to them. Number 9 is a class handbook. And if you create something like this, this is the kind of thing that could be used to have students talk about policies and procedures and things that they do in class. They could even use it as advice that they could give to future classes that come through your class. And when students do this, it helps them to kind of set the norms in the class. And it also helps them think metacognitively about how class should run, which is a great way to set up class culture. And of course, a book inside of Book Creator could be a really, really great place for something like this to happen. Number 10 is a how-to book. And if your students are learning some sort of skill or a set of steps that they can demonstrate, doing this in a book inside of Book Creator could be really, really great. And of course, what's nice about Book Creator is that right under that plus menu, there's the ability to take a picture. And so you can just snap a picture or even record video where students can demonstrate those skills step by step. They don't even have to jump outside of the app to be able to do it. They snap that picture, they stick it right into the book, and then they're ready to move on. Number 11 has to do with an integration. And actually the next two do, and that is start with slides. What's cool is that Book Creator has an integration with Google Drive. So if students are more interested in starting up their book inside of like a slide presentation, then they can do that. And then with the integration with Google, they can pull in those slides into a book. And then if there's something that Book Creator does that slides can't do, they can add that in. And the same goes, number 12, with Canva. If students have access to a Canva account and they're able to design some things inside of Canva, you can pull in those Canva designs into a Book Creator book. So instead of starting with a blank screen, you can design up some of those things inside of some of their favorite tools. Number 13 is an add and pass activity. Here's how this works. A student starts a story and they start writing a little bit about it, or maybe they add a picture or something, and then they pass it off to somebody else, and then that student adds something to it, and then another student adds something, and another student adds something to it. That's the concept of it. This could be so much fun inside of a book in Book Creator, where a student writes a little piece of a story and then passes it off to another student. Maybe they just leave their device sitting on their desk and then they stand up and they go to somebody else's computer while somebody else sits down at theirs. They're kind of like collaboratively adding to it all throughout until it's done. Let's go on to number 14, which is a top 3 video. This is staying in that same idea of YouTube as an inspiration. You've probably seen top 10 videos or top 100 videos or whatever all around YouTube, and your students probably have too. What's great about those videos is that they lead to some really deep thinking. And so if students are to create a top 3 list or a top 5 list, I found that 3, 4, or 5 things is a manageable chunk that makes for a good assignment. And then they rank that list. They create a set of criteria that they use to rank that list. And then they justify their responses. That kind of activity could really lead to some good deep thinking. You can work right off of the template that you can see right here on the screen, or students could do it just from scratch in a blank Book Creator book. And then finally, the last one is number 15, which is an unboxing video activity. So unboxing videos are another type of video that you see all over YouTube, where a YouTuber gets something in the mail, they turn on their video and they start opening the package and showing you what's inside. This could be a really fun activity to have students create a box related to whatever it is that your students are learning about. And then they could record inside of Book Creator. Or they could just take a bunch of pictures of what would be inside of that box and explain why. It's kind of like looking at learning through the lens of a type of video that they're probably familiar with inside of YouTube. So that wraps it up. 15 writing projects that can help grow student authors with Book Creator. You can learn all about this right here at ditchthattextbook.com/book-creator. That link is in the video description. If you like all of that and you'd like to learn even more, you can always check out our email newsletter where I'm sending ideas like this to you in your inbox on a regular basis. Plus you get these 3 free ebooks. So if you're interested in that, go check out ditchthattextbook.com/join. And if you haven't subscribed, I encourage you to subscribe and hit the bell so you get notifications. I'm Matt Miller from Ditch That Textbook. Take care. We'll see you on the next video.